your side. Sit down here. Sit wherever you like. The whole stick follows me everywhere. Yes! I love it. I'm Harold's son.
Look like you can tell.
Watch out for this. He looks like Harold's son too. And he kind of does. He does a little bit there.
Okay, we need to get people for tonight, so like the first. And fill in, we need everybody, you guys, come and fill in. Yeah.
Maybe it's one of the bathrooms.
Amy, come up here.
I mean,
Lily? It's okay, you can do them later.
well, we were kind of thinking everybody would fill in up here. So we didn't
You know, in church, the back is the best seat.
I know. It's not what I had vision
So you don't understand the
No, well, my wife said no. You go to work. And I said, yes, yeah.
the work for you.
And it was very nice.
However, your brother
If you guys want to, everybody make sure you can see my camera.
Yeah.
Everybody can see the camera here. I'm taking this side first.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I guess I get to kick this party off. So, we want to welcome everybody to the celebration of the life of Margaret Differding. Our mother, a sister, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, or a special friend, and someone who loved the Lord Jesus Christ. You've all come a long way for Mom's celebration, and it means a lot to the family to know that you wanted to come and celebrate her wonderful life. You've come from Texas, Washington State, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Illinois, Kansas, or Missouri, whichever side the Chiefs play on. And of course, through the daunting task of getting through Iowa. I know it's tough traffic. Okay, Florida. I wasn't sure how far everybody came. So, but there's one person who always sets the record for the longest distance for these family gatherings, and it's Beth Burton. She left the paradise of Bali to come and experience the majestic beauty of Iowa corn and beans. Thank you, Beth, for taking the hours and days to get here. Again. We have video travelers from Arizona, as Mom's brother Don and his wife Kay are joining us on YouTube for the celebration. We want to say hello to them as well. We also have 5 others watching through a special eternal connection. That would be Mom and Dad, Marianne and Jim DeWitt, and her brother Ron. Today, we will hopefully learn how special Mom was to our family and her community, and be able to connect with those you've not seen and missed for over the years. After the memorial, we invite you to the social hall for refreshments, a self-serve buffet, dessert, and Mom's special treat, an ice cream float. We want to thank the photographer, Clarence, for being here, and for anyone that would like a special photo, please let him know. Thanks to the video connection was made possible through Emery, through the West Des Moines Church, and his assistance with MacBurton. We also want to give a special thanks to Susie Anderson and Susie Differding, who put together all the lovely flower arrangements from Susie Anderson's garden. I want to say a special thank you to Paula for all of her fantastic work on putting the memorial together, and for her graphic design talents that makes all of these memories come to life. Thank you, sis. Yes.
Well, Margaret made me the oldest one in the family now. And so here I am. This is a prayer for Margaret. Of thanksgiving for Margaret and our family. Margaret was the firstborn child of Floyd and Debbie Templeman, who were married on December 6, 1924 in Independence, Iowa, and shortly thereafter moved to Fort Collins, Colorado. And that's where Margaret was born on October 25th. She became a daughter, sister, wife, mother, grandmother, aunt, cousin, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, and a good friend of many people she touched. I think I had more things in there than you did, Dave. We gather here today to celebrate Margaret's life of 97 years and to give thanks for all the love and caring she gave to us through those years. We also give thanks to Floyd and Debbie, who for this family put love into action that today permeates our family in our daily living and is a glue that binds us together. And I want to add to that, Leith Differding. Grandma Differding, as I knew her, mother of Paul, and she was a part of the group that added this love that binds us together. Amen.
As you know, Mom left a wonderful legacy of love, and we want to talk about that today. Our family was truly blessed to have Margaret Differding as our mother. Mom's legacy of love was manifested in so many ways during her 97 years she blessed this life. Her love for her long mate, Paul, was first attracted at the local skating rink, and then a never-ending love for the next 70 years of family celebrations, moving to new cities, 10 years of travel, and quiet days together in their later years of retirement. Her love for her family and children was always her priority. She always made an effort to stay connected to her siblings, her children, and her grandchildren. With 5 kids under the age of 7, Mother was always refereeing a dispute or preparing the evening's dinner. We kids knew the limits of our arguments, so at the end, we ended up doing the dishes. Her love of a church family was also a priority as we moved to a new city on over 22 occasions. Often we had to find out, where's home, when we were coming and returning from our year at college. The foundation of her religious faith was from Mom's dedication to involvement in the local church. She was always getting us ready for Sunday school, playing the piano, singing in the choir, while Dad became the ultimate church usher. Numerous couples Mom met at these church activities became lifelong friends. On her celebration of life request, she left a note from a good friend of Selma Crone, and it reads, "My Christmas list is more than just a way to keep track of the special people God has brought into my life to love. It's like a treasured scrapbook filled with pleasant memories of all the times God answered prayers through friends and family. Every name's a touchstone. It leads to a place and time where God has used another's heart to reach out and touch mine. It may have happened years ago or even yesterday, but every person on my list has changed my life some way. Through simple conversation, a warm hug, or a shared meal, every person on my list has helped me grow and heal, or laugh, or love, or learn, or smile. The blessings never end as God allows our paths to cross as family and as friends." That was Mother's loving talent. She was always wanting to bring God's love to others. She was asked to be the ambassador of the assisted living facility where she and Dad lived. There was always someone in the need of a simple conversation, a laugh, or a smile that Mom always brought with her. Mother loved her chocolate. As the doctor said, it was good for her. She loved receiving flowers on special occasions, and every Christmas for the last several years, Susie and I sent Mom an amaryllis bulb to grow. She was always excited to watch the daily show of the leaves appearing, the blooms beginning to open. This last Christmas, it was a peppermint amaryllis with a multicolored leaf, or multicolored flower. It began growing in early January, and it had a gorgeous bloom on the day that Mom passed away. That amaryllis is pictured on the inside page of the memorial. Whenever I see an amaryllis bloom, I will always say, "I love you, Mom." Thank you.
Hi, everybody. So if it were up to Mom, this gathering wouldn't be about her. It would be all about family and friends. But she left us an envelope. And this envelope says, "I would like the enclosed used in some way after my passing." This is so Mom. This is basically her personality in an envelope. And when I was reviewing the contents of this envelope, I recognized themes that were important in her life, she would want to tell you it's important to know Christ and to have a supportive church family. She would want you to know to love your family unconditionally and to stay in touch with them, to keep old friendships and make new ones along the way, to embrace change because it always happens, and enjoy humor and always be thankful. So the first item I'm going to pull out of here is from Philippians 2, 3 through 4. Do nothing from selfishness or conceit, but in humility count others better than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. So by sharing this verse, I think Mom really wanted to tell you to be aware of others' needs and not your own. So you have chosen what I call a caring sharing gym. And everyone selected one before you came to the service, and they are meant to be given away to others in an act of caring. We have plenty of them. They're in the back on the memory table. Everybody should take 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and make sure you take several, and they are to be shared in an act of love and caring, like Mom would want. Okay, now we have a little memorial video to play.
I bought some, with their help, I bought earrings, a top, and I got my glasses tightened. Good. So that was my big day. I enjoy having Joanne because she does so good to me. It brings me food and helping me on different things. So I kind of lean on her, and I so appreciate what she does.
Yes, Joanne. Yay, Joanne.
You're welcome.
What did the doctor tell you about candy?
That I should eat chocolate.
There you go. Dark chocolate.
Yay.
Get a prescription, yeah, for chocolate.
How do you like your new place?
I love it. I love it.
See you later, Mom.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, man, chocolates.
I eat all those.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Must be gold leaf. Animal. The gold leaf, Mom. The golden
The gold
leaf, yeah.
leaf.
They're animal.
That is a smoked salt caramel.
Let's
Paul went
play
twice
right
of
now.
them, bro.
Huh?
Let's play. I need to rest my eyes.
Yeah, we all need to rest our
Okay.
brains.
Yeah.
I need to get my butt off and see that.
That was a good game, though. That was a really good game.
I'm the most photographed woman.
Shed a tear. Our mom. And Mom loved hymns. She always sang in the choir. And she told me, I don't know how many years ago, she always had a hymn humming in her head. So now we're going to have some music. And I'd like to introduce, well, first of all, I have to pull something from her envelope, right? So I have Colossians 3:16. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly, singing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, with thankfulness in your heart to God. And Margaret, Mom, would like you to remember it's important to sing praises. So now I'd like to introduce a trio, Brent, Harold, Claire, they're going to do a trio, and David Templeman is on guitar, and Aunt Joyce is on piano. And after that, Joyce is going to play a solo piano, Standing on the Promises, and we will end this segment with a hymn, Take My Life and Let It Be, and in the hymnal, it's 399.
Before we get started, I'd like to say that I'm Margaret's grandson, Brent, and this song that we're going to sing, Blessed Assurance, is from Fanny Crosby. It was one of Grandma's favorite hymn writers, and I read about her a little bit. She was blind since the age of 6 weeks, and she wrote over 8,000 hymns in her lifetime. And I read that at one point she started submitting hymns under pseudonyms because certain publishers thought it would be awkward to have too many hymns by the same author, so she started submitting them under different names. So this is Blessed Assurance. blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchase of God, born of his Spirit, washed in his blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Perfect submission, perfect delight, visions of rapture now burst on my sight. Angels descending bring from above echoes of mercy, whispers of love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Perfect submission, all is at rest. I in my Savior am happy and blessed, watching and waiting, looking above, filled with his goodness, lost in his love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long.
Take my life and let it be.
Now we're going to have some family sharing, and we have Dean.
So there's maybe some people here who don't know who I am. I'm Dean Differding, Margaret's third and youngest son. So when I think of my mom, it's true. So when I think of my mom, these words come to my mind: kindness, gentle, warmth, generosity, empathy, and of course, love. My mom was not just the life of our family, she was the soul that connected us all. She was a constant source of support. When I had a bad day as a child or a teenager, she was there with a hug or a gentle shove in the right direction. It was from her example that I learned to foster the bonds of family, to care for others, and to face life's challenges with grace. My mom's love was boundless. It knew no limit. She loved unconditionally. Mom wove this love into everything she did, whether it was preparing a meal for our family, cleaning diapers, and for those young people, back in the 50s, we didn't have disposable diapers. They had to be washed. And she was offering always a comforting embrace. Her life story was not one of grand achievements like some people, but rather a life of quiet strength and enduring love. She was a woman with much empathy, always extending her hand to those in need and her heart to those in sorrow. From my earliest memories, my mom has been a constant source of love and support. She had an extraordinary ability to make everyone around her feel special and loved. Her warmth, her kindness, and generosity were evident in everything that she did. Whether it was through a gentle touch, her soothing words, my mom had a way of making others smile. Here is an example. Now, Kelsey is my daughter, and she has a little boy, my grandson, Owen, and he is 4 years old, soon to be 5. This happened when I was that age. It's as we age, our memories as a child slowly diminish. But for some reason, this memory has always stuck with me. So again, I was about 4 years old, and for some reason, I was having a meltdown. It was on a Sunday afternoon. The family had just finished eating lunch, and I had this meltdown, and I couldn't stop crying. I don't know what happened, what caused it, but I couldn't stop crying. One of my brothers said, "Cry, baby." And my dad commanded, "Stop crying." And Mom, she grabbed my hand and led me through the living room, grabbed the comics out of the Sunday paper, took me upstairs to the master bedroom. She laid me down on the bed with her, and so I snuggled up against her, still weeping, rubbing snot all over her clothes, and she read me the comics. She didn't say a word, just read me the comics. And I slowly closed my eyes. Later, when I woke up, I was surprised she was gone. And I was kind of in a panic, where's Mom? And so in a sleepy fog, I went downstairs, and the house was empty except for Mom. She was in the kitchen baking cookies. And she saw me, gave me a hug, and said, "Everything's going to be all right. I'm glad you're okay." She handed me a cookie, and she turned me around to face the back door, gave me a gentle push, and said, "Go outside and play with your brothers." And so I went out with the cookie with a big smile. And so that memory has stuck in my head for what Mom did. And then another example of my mom's love is the day after she passed away, my siblings and I returned to the living facility to retrieve her things. Numerous staff members approached us in the hallway, and they were total strangers to me, and they gave us each a hug and told us that our mom was a wonderful person. She was very kind and caring toward them, while other residents were cranky and mean. Mom always had a kind word for them, and she gave them small gifts or a piece of candy to surprise them. And they told us they missed her. And so I miss her, and I know we all miss her. So I wanted to close with a poem. Mom had a bunch of books, and in the book that Stephanie gave her, I found a poem, and I thought, how appropriate. I discovered this poem, and I thought I would read it. Life is but a stopping place, a pause in what's to be, a resting place along the road to sweet eternity. We all have journeys, different paths along the way. We all were meant to learn some things, but never meant to stay. Far greater, our destination is a place far greater than we know. For some, the journey's quicker. For some, the journey is slow. Like my mom, 97 years slow. And when the journey finally ends, we'll claim a great reward and find an everlasting peace together with the Lord. And now my cousin Brent will speak.
I don't have any notes prepared, so I'm just going to go over some thoughts and some memories. My grandparents lived about an hour away from where Stephanie and I grew up. We grew up in Rockville in west central Indiana, and my grandparents lived on the south side of Indy, so we saw them about once a month, I would say, and we frequently went over there to their place, to their condo, spend the whole weekend, or they would come to our house, and I just remember how much I looked forward to it and loved when they came to visit. Played catch with Grandpa, fishing, and we went to Indy, to the condo. They had the condo complex had a clubhouse, and there was a pool. So Stephanie and I would, summer days, we would go maybe for a week in the summer, and Grandma would take us to the pool every day, and just how much I loved that. And they also took us to church. Dean was just talking about being 4 years old, and last night at the gathering, somebody asked the question, what's one of your earliest memories that you can remember, like being 2, 3, or whatever? But I remember sitting in the back of Edgewood United Methodist Church when I was about 4, sitting with Grandpa. It mentioned in the video that he was the ultimate usher. He was always ushering in the back. And they opened the church service. The choir would gather in the very back, and their director was Harold Coates, was a family friend, and they sang something in the back before they processed to the front. And I remember watching my grandma sing in the choir with them and being very proud of her. And I never thought I'd be in choir, though. I wanted to be in band. And I was in band in high school and never did choir. In school, I was in the kids' choir in church, but it wasn't until my later years, recently, I started singing in choir in church, and I've really enjoyed it. So looking back now on my grandma's life and my memories of her, thinking about how much she's influenced me. Another way is, you see this photo here. This is in our backyard in Rockville. And this is in the late 70s. I was probably, 6 years old. And they had this van with a pop-up. So it was a camper van. And they brought this over to our place, and we set it up in the backyard. And they also took it out west to visit friends and to Florida and to different places. But I just loved it when they came over with that camper van. And I remember one time I did something I wasn't supposed to. I'm going to have a confession right now. There was a switch in there, like a toggle switch, and it said AC, DC. And I was like flipping it back and forth. And I left it must have been in the wrong position. I must have left it on DC because it drained the battery, because the fans and whatever were running, and it was running off the van's battery. And Grandpa, the next morning, the battery was dead, and he was mad. And he's like, "Who flipped this switch?" I'm like, so anyway, this led to me joining Boy Scouts and how much I love camping because of these experiences in the backyard. And then in 2001, Amy and I bought an RV. It was COVID, the second year of COVID, and you couldn't do anything indoors, and camping seemed like a fun thing to do. So we bought an RV and had that for 2 years, and then bought a second one, a little bit larger one. And we have a seasonal spot at a campground where we leave it all year. And we're there probably 3 weekends out of 4. Made a lot of great friends, and it really reminds me of my grandparents, how they would go camping and travel and meet people, make friends everywhere they went. And so in that way, my grandparents have been a big influence in my life, and wanted to share that.
I want to tell you a little something about Brent. As I was thinking about this memorial and going through Mom's envelope and discovering all these little things, in her envelope, there's specifically about Fanny Crosby, and Blessed Assurance was Mom's favorite hymn. And so I was working on, what we were going to sing, and I was texting back and forth with Aunt Joyce, and Joyce texted me and said, Brent contacted me and said that he would like to sing in the service. And so I contacted Brent. I go, yay. And I go, okay, Brent. And Brent says, I would like to sing Blessed Assurance. I said nothing. That was what their choir had been working on. So I thought, okay, a little divine something, Mom over my shoulder or something. But I thought that was great. Okay, I'm going to invite my siblings to come up. Oh, we're going to do a hymn. Wait a minute. Am I? Sharing? No, that's right. That's right. Siblings up here. Okay. All right.
This is the order we are.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah, I'm the middle person.
Okay, we'd like to give a heartfelt thank you to all of you for coming distances. We really appreciate it. We want to thank Harold and Joyce and their church, Valley United Methodist Church, for hosting this. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. We want to thank Claire for being our photographer today so we can all be in the pictures. And for Emery, for being our technical person and helping us get this memorial out to some family who is not able to be here. So thank you very much. I also want to say that our family is giving a memorial contribution in the name of our mom, Margaret Differding, to CASA Memorial. And I don't know, Brent, you want to say something a little bit about CASA? Or?
Yeah, sure. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocate. It's a program that trains volunteers to work in the foster care system. I'll just wait on here. Hi, Uncle Don. Hope you can hear us now. Yeah, my wife Amy has actually been a court-appointed special advocate at CASA for many years, and they're assigned to individual kids in the foster care system, and they can go to the homes and check in on them. If there's visitations with the parents, they can check in and see how they're doing, or at the foster care home, make sure they're fitting in okay, find out if they need anything. And this fund that they're contributing to, those funds can be used to get things for the foster kids, like gymnastics lessons or cleats for baseball, music lessons, horseback riding lessons, or even just sheets for the bed or anything they might need, so that foster parents aren't having to shell out a lot of extra money, for that kind of thing, because money can be tight. So I ride in a bicycle fundraiser every year. It's a 24-hour cycling challenge. We ride from 10 a.m. on Saturday until 10 a.m. Sunday. Some individuals do it as individuals and ride the whole time to try to, and who can ride the farthest. Some ride 350 miles in that time. There's also teams of up to 10 where they can tag team and take turns, and they'll ride like 400, 500 miles as a team. So I ride, the last time I did it, I rode 100 miles over the course of the 24 hours, it's off and on. But it's been a nice way to raise money for that program and also make more friends. And being here in Iowa, we see the bicycle theme coming around, at the hotel and everywhere with Ragbri. So, and that's where Amy and I met at this bicycle ride for the CASA program. So thanks for contributing to that.
We also want to give a very, very special thank you. So I'm going to ask Dean and Dwayne to come this way, and you guys stay there. Okay. We want to give an extra special thank you to Joanne for caring for our mom for so many years. She had a commissary in her kitchen, in her garage and her car, and was on the spot anytime Mom needed anything. Took her to all of her doctor's appointments, and I know that there were times that were kind of frustrating, and we just really, really thank Joanne for everything that she's done. We'd also like to thank David, because he did Mom's finances and was always trying to figure out that stock that appeared that Dad had bought that we didn't know how to access, and also was looked at all of her assisted care living charges and was right there to make deals when things weren't going right, and we just really, really appreciate all of that. And Mom's shopping and making sure that she had, and Susie, we want to thank Susie because Susie had a lot to do with furnishing so that Mom had just a really nice little apartment. And like the video said, she loved it. She asked to move to a new assisted living facility. I mean, this woman really liked an adventure. I mean, at 96, she wanted to change, and she was happy to do that. She made new friends. She made a difference in the place, as we found out after her passing, or while she was in hospice. So many people told us what a difference that she made in their lives. So anyway, we want to thank you. Sure. Come this way because we're for being.
I was there most of the time, but I wasn't always available. You know, I go to Texas or Iowa, and Paula, when she was in Indianapolis, she would come over. In fact, Steph and I were taking Lauren to San Antonio one time for a water polo tournament. I get a call from the hospital saying, your mom's fell and is in the hospital. So I called Paula, and man, she came right over to Lafayette. And Dean and Dwayne would come on Mother's Day and her birthday in October. So, you know, I hear so many stories about people taking care of their parent, and they have a sibling somewhere, maybe a mile away or in the same city, who never saw them, never gave any help at all. And that was not true of my family. We always stuck together and took care of Mom together. I might have been the closest one, you know, location-wise, but we all stayed close, no matter what. I appreciate it.
Okay, you guys can sit down. Get out of here. Okay, back to Mom's envelope. There is a very special poem in here, and I'll note that she wrote on this paper, it says, I would like to have this read at my memorial. So this was written, this was written by her best friend, Sue Heath, lifelong friend, Sue Heath. She's very close to Sue Heath. And Sue wrote this poem. So I will read this poem, and then we'll have one last hymn, which is Take My Life and Let It Be. In the hymnal, it's $3.99. Is that right? No, wait a minute. Oh, it's For the Beauty of the Earth, hymn 92 in your program, hymn 92. And after that hymn, we will then proceed to go to the social hall and enjoy some socialization, some refreshment. We'll get ready for a light dinner, probably around 5 o'clock, and the all-important root beer float, which is something that Mom, towards her last years, requested. So here's the poem. To you who remain, when we have said our last goodbye, and I have gone from sight and sound and touch, do not weep as those who have no faith. Weep for your loneliness, but not too much. Then, oh, be glad with me and let me go, for you will know that I am free. At last I'm free. Free from pain, from tears, from searing memories of all that binds the human spirit. So rejoice with me. This then I pray, that you may know God's loving patience, presence, to give your strength for each day's need, to give you joy in place of fear. May his peace fill your restless spirit and give a song for every sigh and tear. And it's signed, Eleanor Klein Heath, or Sue.
One last hymn together.
What did you say?
It's page 92, For the Beauty of the Earth.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is that right?
It's all stand, yeah. It's For the Beauty of
Yeah, let's all stand. Yeah.
that way it's easier to see.
Okay.
Move on now.
Sit down, everybody sit down. I'm going to call an audible here. I wanted to do this at the beginning, but we're going to do a roll call of family. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with the oldest of the Differding children, Joanne. You stand, introduce your family, who's here, and those people rise. So we kind of get to see who's who and who's where and where they belong, and we'll do it. I'll be next, and then Dwayne and Dean and Paula. So, Joe, you want to come up? You want to come? I don't know if those mics are live, but. Huh?
Okay. So Brent is my son, his wife Amy, and her daughter Lil, and Ellie, all from West Lafayette. Next is my daughter Stephanie and her husband Michael. And their 2 kids are busy. They're away at school in Texas. So,
And
no grandkids yet.
all right, I'm next in line, and you know my wife Susie, been married 51 years, and we didn't have any children, but we have a great family, so we love everybody here. And as part of our extended family, I'm going to ask Susie Anderson to stand. She's our great friend of too many years, probably. Was an elementary friend of Susie's when she was in elementary school. That's how long we've been friends together, and through lots of things in our lives. And then we have good friends of Ben and Kathy Brackney. Would you stand? Susie has known Kathy from her years at Simpson College. They were sorority sisters together. And Ben and I are golf buddies from whenever we can get together and play. So we've known them for years. And then now they moved from Chicago back to Indianola. So they're happy in their hometown. And then next we have Keith and Brenda Differding, another Differding. Would you stand? Keith is our nephew. He's the son of Ursula and Rainey Differding, cousin, okay. And Keith was an only child, so he was always excited when we would come to see Grandma Differding and Walker, because there was 5 of us and there was 1 of him. And he'd come down and we'd play and we'd have a great time, and he's always sad when we left and had to go back. But Keith, we always loved having him with the family. And his 2 kids are busy with their families and their grandparents now, so they keep busy in Cedar Rapids area. So thanks for coming to see us. Okay, Dwayne.
I'm the middle one, of course, and I'm still looking. Okay, so I'm a cat lover, so I do have cats. Yeah, that's it.
And Dwayne's the purveyor of all the candy in Seattle and Ballard. Yeah. He works for Sweet Mickey's in Ballard, Washington, one of the top importers of foreign candies and things you've never heard of and people love, and it's always fun to come and visit Dwayne. So, okay, Dean.
So I already introduced myself once already. So I'm here with my wife of 9 years, Kay. And then I'm here with my 2 daughters, Kelsey Gordon and Caitlin Phillips. Kelsey is from Seattle, so I get to see her husband and children frequently. And Caitlin went to college in Billings, Montana, and elected to stay. And so her and her husband have just been married over a year and no children, and have dogs. And then and they are from a previous marriage. I was married to Stacy, and I have another daughter, Megan, who was supposed to be here, and she got COVID and was pretty sick, and so elected to stay. And and Megan lives in Seattle, and she has 2 children as well, Shane and Taylor. Thank you for coming.
Paula.
I'm Paula Differding-Burton. And my husband is Bruce Burton. And my children are here, Maxwell and his partner, Marissa, who's going to stand up, Marissa, and Bethany, who has traveled from Bali to be here. And, Oh, yes, we moved 2 years ago. It was almost 2 years exactly. We moved to Seattle from Indianapolis, and we love it. And we love being a part of Max and Marissa's life. So it's good. And Dwayne and Dean, yes.
Okay, so now we get to go to the older brother of the Templeman family, Harold. Yep.
Well, you've already heard my wife, Joyce. She plays the piano quite well. And she practices frequently, so I get to hear music, at least an hour a day around the house. We have 2 sons. The oldest is David, sitting over here. He played the guitar, played my 12-string guitar, which hadn't been used.
It's my guitar now.
Which hadn't been used for a long time.
It's going to go get a home instead of sitting in your basement for a dozen years.
He has 2 sons. Zachary is the oldest, and Seth. Seth is somebody I can look up to.
Seth is the tallest. Zach is the smartest. That's what Zach said. That's what Zach said.
And then our youngest son, Mark, and his wife, Michelle, and our grandson, Ryan is a student up at Iowa State. And, I forgot. Oh, yes. Oh, God. Forgive me.
Talk about a savior.
Kelly. David's wife, Saint Kelly. And we have another grandson who couldn't be here, Heath, who lives in Greeley, Colorado. And is that everybody, Joyce? Okay.
As far as I know.
Okay. Aunt Ray, you want to make your way up?
I didn't know I was going to have to be up here, so forgive me if I make any mistakes, but I taught school 37 years, so I ought to be able to handle something, shouldn't I? Anyway, I was married to Bruce Williams, so I became no longer Templeman, but a Williams, and I like the Williams name. So anyway, we were divorced in 75 or 6 or something like that. Anyway, I thanked him after a couple years that we were divorced because I became a totally different person. Anyway, I have 2 children. Susan, this is another saint, Saint Susan. She lives with me, and we're from Omaha. And she brought 2 dogs. Well, she brought 3 dogs. She has 2 now. So Daisy, the dachshund, and Henry, who's so needy, you wouldn't believe it. He's an Australian shepherd, but he sits in front of Susan and her face, love me, you know. It's a riot. Anyway, so Terry is 5 years younger than Susan, and he and his wife, Amy, live in St. Louis, but they're across the river, really, or they live in Alton, Illinois, if any of you know where Alton is. They have no children. They have cats. That follows. Susan is not married, but she has a partner that has 3 children, and the middle daughter has 2 children that we take in and help and love like they were her grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. So that's my only resource of grandchildren. But so we get to take care of them and test our patience as elderly people, you know. I'm the elderly one, so anyway, I live in Omaha.
Thank you. Now, on the Templeman side, Grandpa had a sister, Neva, and Neva had a family, and I'd like to these two ladies, the McCords, stand up if you would. And if you want to introduce, I know Cynthia and Pat, yeah. So.
I'm more comfortable, I think, talking than you. We are here because our grandmother was a sister to Floyd. I guess we're supposed to go there.
Yep, there you go. Thank you.
So, Paula is our friend on Facebook.
And we found out she was fabulous.
Yeah. Anyway, so we saw the announcement, and I said, well, you know, we could go. We can stay with Frank and Sarah. Our cousin on our dad's side lives in Des Moines, Florida.
And Margaret was Mom's favorite cousin. Our grandma that you were just talking about, Floyd's sister and my mom, neither Mom nor Grandma were talkers. They didn't share. And Margaret was Mom's favorite cousin, but we never knew why until today.
We get it
Now we found out who Margaret was. She knew that, but she just didn't talk about stuff. So I'm really glad you said, let's do this,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful to you people for telling us about her.
The last time I would have seen Margaret, I think Paula was maybe 7.
Yeah.
So, you know, but
30 years ago then?
5, what are you talking about? She needs to get out of high school before she can do anything else, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's good to be here. There's some faces I recognize, and then looking at Margaret up there, there was a picture when she had on a pink outfit. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, she was sitting on the left side in front.
That looks like Mom.
We thought it was Mom.
You know?
I don't know how you guys kept it together, because there were a couple pictures of our mom, and then there were the pictures of Margaret that looked like her. I just about lost it.
And then
I
when
don't know how you
Margaret got a
did.
little bit older, then she looked like Grandma. It's like, holy cow. But like this doesn't look like anybody I know. You know, I never knew her anywhere near that age.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it's cool to see you.
Thank you so much.
And now from our video family, Don Templeman's daughter is here. Amy, would you stand or like to introduce who you have with you today?
Hi, I'm not used to speaking in front of audiences. I am Don Templeman. He was the third set of 2, a twin, Donnie and Ronnie, as they were known back in the day. And so my dad and my mom had myself, and then 4 years later, my little brother, who's, yeah, he's still my little brother, but I have to grab him underneath instead of over now. I have my 2 daughters with me. I have 4 children. Catherine, raise your hand. And then there's Audrey. And then Mason was here last night to meet a few people. He's at a Cubs game today. So, and then my brother Dan, he has 2 sons, Justin and Dylan. Actually, they're born opposite order, but anyways, it doesn't matter. They're both graduated and out of the house and starting their lives, so 3 more years for me. No. Yeah, they're in California, so, yeah, my mom passed away a few years ago, so he's in Yuma, yep, and Yes, Don and Kay. And Susan took me back with her. She's a travel agent. She won some tickets, and we went back, and I have a whole huge box of photos of people who have no idea who they are. So if you take photos, put names on the back and dates, please, because I'm like, a cool picture, I wish I knew who it was. So anyway, yes, my dad really wanted to be here. He tried 3 to 4 different times, but he's just not physically mobile enough to make the trip, nor all of the excitement. And he just got out of the hospital. So anyway, hi, Dad. Hope you were able to log in. I think they'll probably save this, and it'll be on YouTube, and you can watch it later if you didn't get it live. So, and I always remember Aunt Margaret, to me, was, you know, because the age difference, we were figuring that out last night, right, Paula? Like 4-year age difference between Aunt Margaret and my dad. So 17. So, I mean, they were more like, yeah. Yeah, so quite the surprise. One came out and then another. Back in those days, you didn't have that information.
Harold didn't know about it, right, Harold? He came home from school and they were babies?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they thought I was.
So, anyway, glad to be here. Thank you for
Thanks, Amy.
everyone who traveled so far.
Well, good. So now we have a social time. You'll know who's who and what's on first. And if you have questions, just step up and say, you know, I heard about you, and let me tell you
I'm
stories.
going to play one more piece.
Okay, and then Joyce, it's all yours.
I'll accompany you as you leave.
Okay.